Hi guys, in a couple of days, Yair Rodriguez will be fighting against Brian Ortega, and this is actually the fight which we already saw a couple of years ago, but it ended prematurely. Brian Ortega was injured, and the fight actually did not really fulfill itself. Like, we definitely need to see them fight once again. It is a really interesting and also quite important fight for the weight division, from featherweight division. And the first thing which I wanted to simply highlight is the fact that Yair Rodriguez is younger. He's 31 years old. He's taller. We can see he is about 180 centimeters, while Brian Ortega 173 centimeters. And he also has a reach advantage, about 2 inches. And it is a pretty significant difference. But the more important thing is that the Brian Ortega was simply very, very inactive in last years, and we basically saw him the last time against Yair Rodriguez, and that was not really a fight. I mean, that was almost 2 years ago, and that was, I mean, he did not really fight there. He just got injured, and after that, he did not fight for more than 1.5 years. So he definitely needs to be more active, especially considering the fact that he's already 33 years old. I mean, he's not that young, and if he wants to maybe in the future fight for the belt, he definitely needs to be much more active. Otherwise, he won't have any chances regaining like his momentum, because when he started, like before he fought Max Holloway, he was basically the undefeated guy with so many finishes. He was the real deal. And after that, he had a really good performance against Korean Zombie. People got excited once again. Then he fought against Alexander Volkanovski, where he got kind of demolished, but he still had some really good moments there. He almost submitted Volkanovski there, but after that, this guy just stayed very inactive. Now, on the other hand, Yair Rodriguez has been progressing quite significantly, especially after his fight um, against since after he fought against Frankie Edgar, where he got stopped. After that, we actually can see that he progressed quite dramatically. And even though he did lose to Max Holloway, he had a really good performance there. Max Holloway actually had to wrestle with him because, like, in the stand up, Rodriguez was simply better. You know, he was faster, he was technically better, he was hitting harder. He was basically better in the stand up. So Max Holloway had to wrestle there, and after that, of course, he won the fight against Ortega, but as I said, that was more of a freak accident. And after that, he fought against Josh Emmett, which he submitted. He looked really good there, and we can also see that he is also a really durable guy, because he did take some noticeable shots there, but he still managed to fight, and like, he did not crumble. He definitely has a decent chin on him. And not only that, after that, he fought against Volkanovski, and now that fight, he did not really have that many chances, because Volkanovski was basically controlling the fight very well, and he even managed to finish Yair Rodriguez. But I mean, that's fine, because like, that Volkanovski, that was a prime Volkanovski. He was very fast, he was very calculated, and he also had like a huge wrestling advantage, which he used. Now, that's like the quick history overview. Now it is also important to say that, to just see the stats. We can see here is Yair Rodriguez, here is Brian Ortega. We can see that. I hope you are actually okay. Let's do it like this way, so you will be able to see the screen. Well, here you can see that strikes landed per minute. Yair is definitely more active. Striking accuracy, of course, the huge difference between them. Strikes absorbed per minute, we can see that Brian Ortega actually has a pretty bad defense. That guy like is sluggish, He's kind of slow. The way he throws punches, the way he does everything is like slow. It's not sharp at all. The way he moves, it's really not that. It's really not that impressive. And defense, of course, it's not really that surprising that Yair has a better defense. Now, more important stuff. We know that Brian Ortega is a really good black belt in Jiu-Jitsu, and Yair Rodriguez is definitely not that good of a grappler. And if they're gonna grapple, Brian Ortega will definitely win those exchanges. But as you can see, the takedown average, it's really not that good. Like Brian Ortega does not really throw, does not really shoot that many takedowns, and even when he does, he's very unsuccessful most of the times. Like 23% success, that is definitely not that impressive. And we can see the takedown defense of Yair Rodriguez is also pretty decent. So it just tells me that Brian Ortega simply does not really have that many realistic chances to win this fight. Firstly, because he's older, he's physically weaker, he's been inactive. Like Yair Rodriguez fought against top fighters. He might have lost against Volkanovski, but he still gained experience there. He still learned a lot there. So I feel like this Yair will be very, very well prepared, and he's gonna have actually a really good performance against Brian Ortega. And Brian Ortega has to like take him down, take Yair Rodriguez down, and that's gonna be a pretty challenging task to complete because Yair Rodriguez, as I have mentioned, is physically pretty strong guy, and he's not really that easy to take down. First, you need to like make him tired or hurt him, and then maybe you can do some stuff. And even though he's not like a high level jiu-jitsu practitioner, he still has some submissions. So Brian Ortega even then has to be a bit careful. Well, I'm not saying that Brian Ortega has zero chances in this fight because he definitely has a better jiu-jitsu, but I feel like there are just so many factors which just really say that most likely Yair Rodriguez will win this fight, and I feel like he's gonna win it by knockout or even worse by decision. And if it's gonna be a decision, Brian Ortega will take so much damage in that fight because that guy is very tough, but I feel like he's gonna take so much damage in that fight that it might actually just really, really stop this guy. Like if Brian Ortega now gets demolished like he got against Volkanovski and Max Holloway, I feel like that's too much of a damage. That's too much of a damage, and then his chin will give away easier, and he will not really have any realistic chances to reach top once again. Yeah, that's my prognosis. I feel like Yair Rodriguez will definitely win this fight, and there are just so many things that should contribute to the fact that should contribute to Yair. Like there are just so many things that should be helpful for Yair to win this fight. Things like his explosivity, his speed, his power, his youth, his physical attributes. I really feel like he's gonna be winning this fight for sure, and it's gonna be also quite clear. Yep.